Hello YouTube, I'm Jack Clark, the Musketeer, coming to another video. How are you? So of course, as you can tell from the title of today's video, we're going to be talking about the World Championship qualifiers that are currently going on. So if you'd like to see any of the coverage that Konami is doing for this event, then you can check it out in the description down below. There'll be a link there, so you can go check it out in all of its badly edited and spelling mistake glory. So of course, in addition to some of the more normal stuff that you would expect from an event of this magnitude, we do have a couple of things that really are standing out to me. So most likely, of course, will be the wind-ups, which are now making some kind of a competitive comeback. Of course, with the priority change, people's just kind of thought, wind-ups are dead! Bottomless trap holders and mighty, you cannot do shit. But of course, they are now making some kind of an impact. And of course, the end-all answer to wind-ups and their loop was Max C, of course. Now, with Max C, people were no longer running it in their side deck simply because no one was playing wind-ups anymore. So for the people that were running wind-ups in their wind-ups, they kind of go unopposed. And the people that were siding Max C, they won't be able to use it as efficiently because wind-ups have evolved. The thing is, with that one end-all answer, people will think that that's more than enough, that's sufficient enough to beat a deck. But of course, wind-ups have evolved, and ever since they have been biding their time and changing, and builds, of course, have reflected that in this competitive play. So some people are not using factories, some people are using more controlling builds, less explosive builds, so people are using Ds and the like. So, of course, when they have been using Maxi against them, then it hasn't made as much of an impact, and of course, they are able to play around it somewhat. So it's really nice to see wind-up making some kind of an impact, and I really wish I'd gotten some wind-up stuff when people were trying to get rid of it, because I could have, but I didn't, because I'm an idiot, and everyone else is an idiot as well, because no one else has thought of to do that as well. But of course, I expect a load of more wind-up players to start appearing at your locals and your top and local events. So yeah, that's great. But of course, that's great, and I really like to see wind-ups making some kind of an impact like they have. So, in addition to that, of course, is the one thing that I really want to talk about and I'm really very excited about, is that Watts. Yep, Watts have made the top 52 of the World Championship qualifier. Now, for those of you who were a fan of my videos or watched my videos on my previous channel, Yu-Gi-Oh! Musketeer, then you will know that I spoke about the Watts so much, so many videos dedicated to Watts, and they are my favourite deck of all time, pretty much. And the thing is, this deck is really good, and it's actually made some kind of an impact, and it's going. Now, for those of you who have been keeping up with coverage of YCS's, then you will have known that this is actually the same person who used Watts at YCS Brighton, and of course didn't do as well as he has done here, but he's at the World Championship qualifiers, top 32. He could potentially go to Worlds at this rate, but with Watts no less, and really, really nice. Now, when it comes to Watts, I've always loved using aggro Watts, where I just kind of, I can't be asked with that Hopper Watt stuff, and I'm just going to go full aggro and inflict as much damage as I can as fast as possible, with a hell of a big load of back row to protect myself and annoy my opponent with, and that has worked well. However, it's much easier to stop a aggro Watt deck than any other kind of Watt deck, simply because if you can stop the summon of my Watt Cobra, then I'm screwed, because I can't gain any momentum. And even in such a fast meta, I mean, I tried a couple of games with my Watt deck against my Cephalon deck, which I have been working with for a while now, and I just can't get the momentum. They're able to, these days, with Chaos Dragons and Dino Rabbits and all sorts, they're able to get huge monsters out so fast and overwhelm you so quickly that I can't do shit about it. So with aggro Watts, they're not really competitive. However, this deck list is not aggro Watts, this is Hopper Watts. And of course, how Hopper Watts, if you don't already know, utilises the Watt Hopper, which is a monster that, of course, if you control it, your opponent can't attack or target any of your other Watt monsters for effects either. So if you've got two on the field, you get the Hopper Watt lock, which is amazing, simply because your opponent can't attack your Watt monsters or target them for effects, at which point they will come to the conclusion that they haven't got really many answers to get rid of it. So they got their big power play cards like Dark Hole and Torrential Tribute, stuff that you really would rather save for much more intimidating fields, on 2-0 attack point monsters on the field, which you can't, if you don't get rid of them either, if you decide not to, then you can't make any power plays, you can't push the game because you just can't get past them. And of course, with a Watt Hopper deck, you have, of course you do have a big back row like you would with a regular, with a aggro Watt deck, for example, but of course you'll be catering to protecting your lock a lot more, so stuff like Starlight Road and the Huge Revolution is Over, which is ridiculous in Watts, it just helps to minimise the threat against your Hopper Watts, and it's brilliant, and because it's actually making some kind of an impact on a big scale, because I love the Hopper Watlock, but it's kind of not been my thing. I've never been too big a fan. I've just kind of played Watts as a fun deck, and I played it to my style, really. But the fact that the Hopper Watt deck has kind of, it can make some kind of a tournament impact, I may go and try out the Hopper Watts again. But I really love the Hopper Watlock, because you get those two on the field, and I've had many duels with friends where they kind of, yeah, you can't target that with Brianark. Why? Targets. Really? But yeah, in addition to that, of course, if you go up against Inzectors with the lock, they can't do shit, because they just look at their Hornet and go, Hornet target? Yes, Hornet targets. Oh. It's a good feeling. But of course, that's pretty much it. Of course, if you have any of your own thoughts or feelings on the World Championship Qualifier or any of the decks I've talked about today, then please do tell me in the comments down below as a video response. I'd really like to hear from you. And of course, I have got some nice Shining Angels. So I think I'm going to make a Hopper. I'm going to rebuild my Watt deck and my Hopper Watt deck. So I've got a red rare and a blue rare, and I kind of want more of these. So if you have any of them, please do trade them to me. But in addition to that, I did get my third tour guide, which of course means that they're going to get banned, or limited, or semi-limited. They're going to get hit by the ban list, most definitely, now that I've actually got my third. So of course, in addition to that, what do you think is going to happen with the next ban list? Of course, the next ban list is on September the 1st, and of course, this is about the time where people will start making their conclusions of what they think will get hit and not. I don't really mind what gets hit, to be fair. The only things I don't want to get hit is, of course, these, because I actually have them now, but I would understand if they've got some kind of a semi-limit. The thing is, with tour guides, though, I can play, they're really easy to sort out. I mean, triple Veilers, and so many other ways you can get rid of the actual Xyzes. I mean, I can play around Zen mains really quite easily. I mean, if you're using Watts, you can use Watt Pheasant, and that's the best answer for it ever. But with tour guides, of course, you've got Veilers. You've got loads of ways you can get around the plays that you can make with it. Which really does help. But, of course, I can do see it being hit in some ways, so semi-limit. I don't think it will get a limit. I think maybe semi-limit, that's what I'm thinking. I don't think it should get hit any further than that, simply because it's so easy to stop. And of course, it would actually, if it did get semi-limited, which I would be fine with it, it means that people would be trading off their tour guide, so many more people would be able to actually would be able to get their own copies, especially with the battle pack being reprinted, and the next YCS Sheffield being a battle pack event, so those tour guides, of course, will be abundant as well. So of course I've got those, and of course I really wanted to use my fabled Synchro deck, because I got these tour guides, and I'm not sure now. So I think I may try my Watts. But of course, if you'd like to see a deck profile in future of either the Watts, or of course of my fabled Synchro deck, then please post those in the comments down below as a video response. I've also been working on a Vylon deck that can spam Vylon Omega, which is just glorious. Because there's nothing quite like summoning a Vylon Omega and then just trouncing your opponent, but there's nothing even better than summoning 2 Vylon Omega and then overlaying for Gustav Max. So of course, if you'd like to see a deck profile on Watts, Fabled, or Vylons, then please do say in the comments down below as a video response. I may do 1 or 2 of them, but I would like to hear your your kind of thoughts on either of those decks first. So of course, in addition to all the stuff I've talked about in today's video, please say in the comments down below as a video response. I'm Jack Clark, the Yu-Gi-Oh! Musketeer. This is Yu-Gi-Oh! Britain, coming to you with more videos, and that's pretty much it. Like this video if you liked it, and I will see you soon.